Okay, so I'm inviting people for this group of English speakers, or people who understand the.
Excellent.
Si no, podemos empezar.
Is Marco still introducing us?
Yeah, he's saying people that they can be in this room if they speak English. Not we can start.
All right. So I
So,
guess you'll let me know when we're going to start.
yeah,
Fantastic.
they are reading old people and Harvest Harmonic.
Well, I'm pleased to translate and let her know what's happening right now.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to translate you what is Marco saying. Um, so I'm pretty grateful about Francisco Merino because we already are doing a lot of work doing this collaboration. Thankful for you, Frank. We are starting this first day of presentation of the webinar. Uh, we are grateful with all Harvest Harmonics team. We are looking that the farmers or you are more productive. On your fields, both dairy and farming. Harvest Harmonics has a lot of results on dairy, food for animals, banana. And we believe to do this webinar for all of you. We are not looking to sell you anything. We want to teach you a lot of tools to make you more productive. We are not looking for selling anything. It's just to let you know that it exists another tool for agriculture to use less input, improve soil. In one word, it's a fantastic technology. It's just for technical questions and the technical part of the technology. If you could be interested on buying this technology, you can reach out the company. But this is not the objective of this presentation. We always are trying to show you innovative alternative. Some time ago, some people felt that you are not prepared for this conversation, but it could be a joke. We have almost 100 people on the Spanish side. So you can if you are not able to see this in live, you can see or watch it on YouTube too. We also will be raffling some equipment. We need you to see how it is working. It's not just for blah blah blah. So we are donating, raffling for a system, and we need you to install it, use it, and see all the benefits that we are saying you. If you are not a farmer, or if you are an advisor and you don't have any farmer that can be useful for this equipment, please let you know so we can give it to another person that has already the field. So how can you access to this raffle? We are doing the raffle virtual, one system per day between the assistants of this webinar. If you would like for one of your colleagues, parents, or someone on your association to win this, they need to be on the webinar. So please share this link, and if people is not doing our rules, you can leave. If you already fill the form, you are participating on the raffle. But if you don't, because you are in some of our groups, we are sending you another form so you can fill out. So, for an example, if someone wins, for example, Wilfredo, and if he is not in the room, we are doing the raffle again. So you need to be on the conference. And understand all this webinar to use this technology in the right way. So you have 3 opportunities to win. So if you don't win, it's not our fault. So we are showing you all the fruits, benefits, papers that we already have. A lot of studies made before. So for example, in Peru, they have a lot of installations. And you know, Peru is potential in agriculture. Also, they are doing some installations on roses and banana. So that's why we are having this conversation today. So please fill out the form for the raffles. So at the end of the night, we are doing this raffle. We are sending the assistance link for this form. So if someone wins and it is not with the camera or the microphone on, we are asking for that. And if it's not in the conference, we are going for another raffle. Also, for people that already pays for the certificate, they can access to another ticket for the raffle. So that improve your chances to get this equipment. So you can prove the system or on your field. And at the end, you can see all the results, and all your friends or partners will be looking for the equipment to be buying. So please, we can start. Okay, so please, Frank, you can start introducing yourself.
Fantastic. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here this evening. My name is Francesco Arlia Jr., and I am the CEO and founder of Harvest Harmonics. I would like to start with a very, very warm welcome and thank you to Mr. Marco Silva for setting this up from the Ecuadorian Agricultura Alliance. It was very appreciative of Marcos to engage us, and when he saw what we are capable of delivering to farmers, he was very interested in having us educate the farmers to the future of agriculture. I also wanted to say a special thank you to all of our associates, our friends in Ecuador, the professors at the University of Espach, the Franklin Torres, the president of the Banana Association, and many other scientists, engineer Carlos Santos, who's been working with us for years, and even my dear friend, Mr. Fausto Mino from Ecuador, who has basically supported us both spiritually and mentally to delivering this technology to Ecuador. We have been very blessed with our associates in Ecuador, and most recently with Mr. Francisco Marino, who
Frank?
is, yes.
Please, just a minute. Francisco is
Catching up.
boring. I don't know. They are not hearing well to Francisco, so let us fix that.
Let me know when I should continue.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so Frank, please continue. Thank you.
Well, I wanted to basically say a very special thank you to Francisco Marino, who is actually uh, translating this evening, because since his involvement with us representing Ecuador, we have been getting more and more recognition throughout the country. And I'm really appreciative, because our main purpose is to educate farmers, help farmers, and demonstrate that the future of agriculture is actually very, very promising. So, without further delay, let's continue. Okay. Again, welcome to the future of agriculture. Uh, can we go to the next slide? So, so just so you know, the mission of our company and the purpose of our company is to help, you know, help farmers find a better solution, remove chemicals from the industry, get farmers to understand that growing without chemicals is possible, that climate change really is not a problem, and that we can have more production, more profit, and a better product that we deliver to the public, because it's a well-known fact from the thousands of farmers that I've spoken to that they don't want to use chemicals. They don't want to use chemicals because they know it's not good for people. They don't want to use chemicals because they know that it's expensive, and it hurts them physically and it hurts them financially. But it also does not help them to deliver a really good product to the public. However, it's been the last 120 years that chemicals started coming into the industry, and it has now accumulated, destroying our water, destroying our atmosphere, giving us climate change issues, and ruining our health. So our mission is to turn that around. A little story about that was 11 years ago, I had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Fulvio Balmelli, as you can see in the picture to my right, actually to my left in the picture. But Mr. Balmelli is the inventor of the Kiminasi crop booster. And Mr. Balmelli is a medical specialist from Como, Italy. So 30 years ago, he was using a machine that was called the BCOM 2000 to study the human body at a bioresonance level. In other words, he was studying the frequencies of the human body and all the different organs. And he was inverting these frequencies in order to make people healthy. And he became an expert in bioresonance, and he started quantifying the commonalities between humans. And what he discovered was that after studying 10,000 human beings, most of them from Europe, some of them from North America, and some from South America, what he discovered was the common reason that everybody was getting sick and getting diseases and getting all kinds of ailments and dying younger is because they all had residue of agricultural chemicals in their body. So I want to make that very clear. We are all getting sick. Everybody, every one of you on this call today, in this meeting today, has agricultural chemicals in your body. And if you're a farmer, you probably have more than the normal people, because not only are you eating the food, but you're also working with the chemicals. So what he discovered is that this was a common problem throughout the world. And he said to himself, I need to figure out how to develop a technology that can grow food without chemicals so that we can make people healthy again. And he started this 30 years ago as a concept. It was just an idea. Within 10 years, he had figured out how to get information into water to improve the quality of water. And then within 20 years, he had figured out through his in-depth study of plants how to get information from plants, basically studying the frequencies, the signaling system of various plants. And then he did something that was pretty miraculous. He developed a language, like a programming language, like the type of programming that runs your cell phone or the type of programming that runs your computer. So he developed a language that could communicate and gather information from plants. And then he took this programming to a next level and he started to test the language on various plants to see if he can get the plants to grow faster and stronger. And eventually he did. In 2013, I had the unfortunate situation that my mother was diagnosed with a terminal illness, and she was given 3 to 5 months to live. And so I disagreed with all the doctors and with my family and everyone else. And I said, this is not going to happen. I'm going to find a solution. Anyway, I found the solution at the Biomedic Center in Como, Italy, with Mr. Fulvio Balmelli. And Mr. Balmelli was able to reverse the frequencies that were killing my mother, and he saved her life. And my mother was a medical miracle. While I was there in Italy with him, watching him save my mother's life, it became apparent to me that this man was very special, and he knew something that others did not know. And so I wind up taking,
Frank,
yes,
we're having problems with Francisco again. I don't know what is happening.
no problem.
Okay, so we have to fix this problem. It's mainly because Francisco has the both meetings open, so that's why it's a little
You're breaking up a little bit.
breaking up. Yeah.
Shall I continue?
Uh, me a second. So, okay, some people is hearing Francisco well, some not. Okay, so we do some one sentence each to see if we can fix the problem with Francisco, please?
Sure. So we'll just go one sentence at a time.
Yeah, please.
Fantastic. So basically, while I was in Italy, I learned about this new technology, and Mr. Balmelli educated me on his life mission to get rid of chemicals in agriculture.
Okay.
Then, when I discovered this mission, I realized this was more important than what I was doing as a accountant and forensic accountant, that I was very successful. But and that's what, if you look behind me, all those certificates on the wall and all my licenses, that is my background. I'm a accountant specialist, forensic accountant in the United States. But I realized it was more important to save agriculture. With this, I decided to dedicate the rest of my life to agriculture and work with Mr. Balmelli to deliver this technology to the rest of the world. And so we started. Should I continue, Maria?
Yep.
So then the real problem, the technology was not ready. It worked, and it worked perfectly, but it was not ready for commercial use. It took another 6 years to finish the technology. And in October 2019, we launched the final version of the technology, which is called Tech 6.
Okay.
So then we had this other little problem that happened in 2020 called COVID, but it didn't stop us, because we started working with the University of Espache in Ecuador and the University of the National Agrarian University of Peru in Peru.
Okay.
With our first 4 trials, very successful, I decided, you know what? Let me create a game to challenge the world to find something wrong with the technology.
Okay.
And so the game became called the 1000 Scientific International Trial Challenge.
Okay.
And we challenged the world to find something wrong with this technology. Anything. Find anything wrong with it. Well, when we launched the game, we had only a few trials. As of yesterday, okay, we have 535 commitments for trials around the world.
Continue, please.
The 535 trials that are committed are with 69 governments and over 40 universities all over the world.
Okay.
Of those trials, 146 were active, 92 are completed,
Okay.
48 are active as we are speaking right now,
Okay.
46 trials are published on our website, and we have 2 peer-reviewed journals published.
Okay.
Our target is to make it to the Guinness Book of World Records for the only company, the only technology company to be vetted without any funding from ourselves. And I want to qualify that. With all these trials that we are doing all over the world, we are not spending any money because the governments and the universities are so interested in our technology that they are paying for the trials themselves.
Okay.
So with that, word has been getting out, and more and more countries are becoming interested in what we are doing. We have already sold the technology because we are commercial, and we have been selling the technology to farmers since 2019. And we've sold to over 750 farmers around the world.
Okay.
Many of them that you see in these pictures, and in 2019 and 2020 and 2021, I did a lot of the installations myself, and I would go out and shake hands with the farmers and meet them and talk to them so I can really understand them.
Okay.
That brings us to what we are doing now. Fast forward, and I'm going to make a very, very bold statement.
Okay.
Our system, our technology, and our system of farming is the future. Nobody in the world can do what we do.
Okay.
Our technology cannot be reverse engineered. It cannot be copied. It cannot be duplicated. It can only be used by farmers.
Okay.
It was designed with the main purpose of doing 5 things. 5 things. Number 1, get rid of all the chemicals in farming.
Okay.
Number two, make the farmer more profitable.
Okay.
Number three, increase the value of the farmer's land because the land of the farmer is his most valuable asset. So making the land, the soil, stronger and stronger and stronger is how we increase the value of the farmer's land.
Okay.
Deliver, number four, deliver more quality crops to the farmer. Have the farmer produce better quality crops.
Okay.
And number five, make the crops so nutrient dense that they are very healthy for people to eat.
Okay.
Now, I want to qualify one of the things that I just said. By making the farmer more profitable, that is done with increasing the yield and decreasing the costs.
Okay.
And so, with that in mind, this is what we're doing. We're getting the word out because every farmer wants the same thing that we want. We want better health. We want more profit. We want a better life. It's simple. It really is very, very, very simple. And our technology and our system is extremely simple and easy to use, which is a lot different than the way farmers farm today.
Okay.
So, to give you an idea of how simple it can be, is you answer a questionnaire. We give you a questionnaire. You answer all the questions. You give us information about your farm. And then we give you the exact technology and the exact formula to turn your farm around and make you very profitable.
Okay, Frank, someone is asking that how the technology works.
Fantastic. Well, we're about to get into that. Okay. I think here's where we go into the next slide, right? And I will start explaining the technology. Basically, the first thing you have to understand is that every living organism has a frequency. Everything vibrates. There are different frequencies for everything. And every frequency is a signature. It's an identifier. Okay? So when you look at that, you have to understand that frequencies are senior. The physical universe is senior to the chemical universe and more powerful. So if you understand that, then you understand that this technology is more advanced than any chemical in the world. The next thing to understand is that the plants, when they grow naturally without any intervention from mankind, they grow better and they grow healthier than when we are involved, because when we are involved, we disturb their ecosystem. We disturb their standard of living, of expanding. So we had to figure out a way that we can continue to work with the natural process of life and the plants without disturbing their ecosystem.
Okay.
So what the inventor developed was a disc. I'm going to show it to you. There's
Okay.
the disc.
Frank, we can show, well, you're not in the Spanish room, so people is not seeing that.
No problem. So I will explain
Okay.
it. I will explain it. What so basically what they was the best way to understand this is by understanding the compact disc. So the compact disc, which is the CD, is information on a piece of plastic that can be used for anything. It can be used for any type of programming or for any type of communication like music or video. I'm sure that makes sense because you've seen it, but it's old.
Okay.
If you compare our disc, which is very small, but it's metal, our disc is programmed with information that only the plant can understand. It's information that has 3,000 plus programs directly related to the physiology of plants.
Okay.
And when you take this information is transferred from the disc to the plants through the irrigation system.
Okay.
Once the plants absorb the water, they are absorbing the water with all the programming in it. All 3,000 programs are in the water, and then they are inside the plant. Now, I know that out of 100 farmers or more that are on this call, at least 95% of you are saying, how the hell do you do that?
Okay.
Excellent. So that is the advantage that we have over any other company in the world. Nobody else in the world can do what we do. I'm going to repeat this a few times. Our technology is 40 years ahead of its time. We are the most advanced agricultural company in the world. And nobody can copy us. Nobody can do what we do.
Okay.
So once the plant receives this information, it now has a library of data embedded inside at a cellular level. It has the information inside at a cellular level.
Okay. Okay. Diana, do you have questions?
Yes, more like a comment. Frank, we could say that it's similar to the process of a water ionizer for them to understand better.
No, we can't say that because a water ionizer is a different function. This structures water. We go beyond that. We are literally delivering programming data. And I don't want to confuse them with any other technology that's out there. There's nobody in the world that does what we do.
Okay.
Thank you. So the reality is this. If you look on the screen right now, you can see that the information that's being delivered to the plant is literally telling the plant to absorb more sunlight, manage water better, produce more sugar. You need to understand that our technology is a training mechanism to train the plant to become an Olympic plant.
Okay.
Thank you. So understand, again, we are 40 years ahead of anybody else. Okay? I'm not going to compare myself to any other technology because nobody can do what we do. Nobody. And I can guarantee you one thing, that there's not one farmer on this call that I cannot improve their farm tremendously.
Frank, we have another question. Does it need a power supply, electricity?
That is a great question. And the answer is no, it doesn't need any power supply. Once you install the technology, it will work perfectly for 2 years. And then its energy, the way it's programmed to last for 2 years, and then it will expire. Now, I have a unique method of doing presentations. I got this method from one of the top business consultants in the world.
Okay.
After I introduce myself and give you some general information, which I already did,
Okay.
I like to find out, what are your goals from this seminar today, right? This webinar. What are your goals? So please, if you can put in the chat, of course, I want to answer all your questions. That is very important to me. So ask many, many questions.
Okay. We have a question about the cycles.
Sure.
We can use it for year cycles, or it can be for multiple cycles.
It can be used as much as you want for the entire year, for 2 years. So an example is, if you're growing corn, and some parts of the world you can grow corn twice a year, then you can use it all year. If you're growing lettuce, the cycle of lettuce is very short, so you can grow a lot more lettuce and because the lettuce will grow faster and better, you can get more cycles with our technology.
Okay.
Diana has a question.
Yes,
Okay.
but
Diana?
just to be clear, so for example, if there are two crops or two seasons on the same year, the investment is going to be yearly.
Exactly. If you have, well, Maria, why don't you translate Diana's question, or Francisco, translate Diana's question, and then I will answer it.
He already did it.
Okay, great. So yes, the technology works consistently for 2 years. So in 2 years, you should use it as much as possible. It's that simple. So if you have a farm that has 100 hectares, whatever is growing on that farm for 2 years will get the benefit of the technology.
So just to be clear, 24 months nonstop.
Exactly.
Okay.
Maria?
Thank you, Diana. Another
Good.
question that we have, Frank, does it need maintenance during these 2 years?
No maintenance is required. However, we do recommend that at least once a year, but even more of a recommendation is every 6 months, that we get a water sample that we send from your farm to our laboratory in Italy to verify that the technology is still working perfectly from the first day that we sold it to you.
Nice. Another question, if there's crop rotation, how do you tell the equipment?
If there's crop rotation, in other
Yeah,
words,
in the field.
if you leave the land unattended for a year so that it can rebuild its energy. Is that the question?
No, if you, for example, grow potatoes and then after that beans, right after the potatoes. So how do you tell to the system how to work on the potatoes or the beans
I,
in the change?
I understand. So the reason there are over 3,000 programs on the disk is because the 3,000 programs are designed to help any type of plant anywhere in the world, under any climate conditions, with any type of soil, with any type of water, with any type of altitude. It doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter what you are growing as long as you're using our technology. And if you want the best production, you use our formula.
Nice. Do minerals need to be present in the soil for it to be optimized, or does it work in poor soil?
So it works in any type of soil anywhere in the world. The healthier the soil, the faster the reaction time. The weaker the soil, it will still give good results, but it takes a little longer to rebuild the soil. I want to give more information.
I'm sorry, Frank, what?
I want to
Okay.
give some more information.
Okay, go ahead.
When the soil is depleted of energy, it is because you've used way too many chemicals. The thing to do is to use our formula to boost the energy in the soil and our technology to keep the energy increasing and increasing and increasing. Let me know when I can talk.
Go ahead.
The example let me just say it this way. If you keep using chemicals, you're only hurting yourself and your soil. The idea is to allow us to give you a new formula so that you can use less and less chemicals and more natural fertilizer and save money, make more profit, and get the most benefit from our technology.
Okay.
The analogy that I'm going to give you, the example that I'm going to give you, is today is much different than the way we would take care of our children many, many years ago. When I was growing up, if I got sick, my mother would give me good soup, a good meal, go to sleep, tea, lemon, honey, vitamins. It was a very natural solution. Today, when people get sick, everybody's really quick to say, take an antibiotic, or take this medication, or take that medication, which for me is completely stupid. Well, in farming, it's the same problem. 100 years ago, we had technology, systems for rebuilding the soil. And then the chemical companies said, oh, well, just use these chemicals and you can grow faster. But over 100 years, and now we've destroyed our soil. So I just want you to get that understanding. These chemicals will not be here in 10 years. I guarantee you, there will not be a farmer on this planet, nowhere in the world, that will still be using chemicals in 10 years, because nobody wants this garbage anymore. And people are coming up with good ideas on how to reduce the chemicals, but we are the only company in the world that figured out exactly how to get rid of chemicals completely.
Okay.
Excellent. So these are very good questions. I will continue to speak, and I encourage you all to ask a lot of good questions. But before we continue, I want to take just a few minutes and ask you to tell me, in the chat, tell us exactly what you're interested in finding out or about for you. What do you need and want from this presentation today? I need to know that, because I want to make sure that before you leave here today, after the raffle, that you leave here completely satisfied and happy that all of your questions and your curiosity has been answered, and possibly the answer to your problems have been answered. So if you want to take a minute or two to submit what is it that you need and want to be discussed or handled in this webinar tonight, I would appreciate it.
Okay, okay. So Lourdes says that her interest is get an alternative for producers of family farms, and because their soils are very poor.
So an alternative for
family farms, little family farms.
Okay, an alternative for family farms. Good. Excellent. What else?
Okay, so we are waiting for more of these questions. We have a lot of about results, but I'm explaining them that we are having the presentations for results for tomorrow and Wednesday, so we can show them all the results.
Excellent. Has anybody originated anything else that they want to get out of this tonight?
Someone has his hand up, so we are going to hear them, and I'm going to translate.
Good.
Very interesting topic. It's a very good technology. My question is, all plants have different stages.
What's the question? Or what's the
Let me just give.
Sure.
Frank, I'm going to help Maria Belén. So he's asking the question of like, how does it work with healthy, microbes that are in the field, and how do we see that, and how does this help the whole system?
Okay. Improvement of microbes. Great question. Okay, I'll explain that right now. So, first of all, tell them, everyone, to please ask as many questions as possible. And thank you very much for these questions. The first response to the alternative for family farms is that this technology was designed for every farmer in the world, no matter what size, large or small, but it was designed to help the family farms survive better and be competitive in the market with this technology. And it's also affordable by everyone.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the way it works with microbes is really simple. All right. The plant, right, And then, by the way, we can go into the next slide because we're actually going into that with this question. All right. So if you look at the screen, you will see on one side you have a healthy frequency, and on the other side you have a chaotic frequency. All right. And so what happens is this: when there are chemicals in the environment, it's chaotic. The frequencies in the soil are chaotic, and the frequencies in the plant become chaotic, and the plant feeds the microbes in the soil. So, and the microbes bring nutrients to the plant. It's a symbiotic relationship. They have what's called a barter system.
Okay.
So I want to make sure, because I don't want to offend anyone, right? But after speaking to over 1,000 farmers, I discovered something that was very disturbing.
Okay.
And what I discovered is that farmers didn't really understand the way a plant works and the way the soil works and the way the sun works with the plant.
Okay.
And if you don't understand the way this whole ecosystem works, then anybody could sell you any type of bullshit, right? Because you don't know, and you don't know the system and the way it works.
Okay.
So the first thing I do is I want to educate the farmers to understand this system and the way it works. The plant takes the sun's energy and it makes sugar.
Okay.
This is the process of photosynthesis.
Okay.
It uses that sugar as energy to do many things.
Okay.
One of the things that it does is it uses the sugar to exchange with the microbes. It pushes the sugar down into the roots to share the sugar with the microbes, and the microbes, in exchange for this food, they bring nutrients to the plant.
Okay.
The plant also uses this sugar as a storage mechanism to help the plant grow stronger and build its defense mechanisms.
Okay.
Now, there are many other things that the plant does with the sugar, but these are the two most important. Build a defense mechanism, feed the microbes.
Okay.
So when the plant is doing this, the microbial population expands because they're coming there to get food, but they're coming there to bring food. And this is the relationship between the plants and the microbes.
Okay.
When you use our technology, we boost this entire system. So the plant is making a lot more sugar, and the plant is preparing more food for the microbes, which increases the microbial population.
Okay.
If you're using a natural fertilizer, the microbes like this because it's natural, and they all benefit from this.
Okay.
If you're using manure, composting, okay, this is even better. Biochar, this is even better.
Okay.
However, if you're using chemical fertilizers, the microbes hate the chemical fertilizers because it damages them. It shuts them down. It makes them go dormant. So you're actually killing yourself over time.
Okay.
So basically, when you use our technology, we are boosting this system a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. And we're like physically training the plant to become stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger until the plant is producing like an Olympic plant.
Okay.
Now, when this is happening, the plant, okay, is feeding the microbes, so the microbial population is growing. Now, there's two ways that you can verify this.
Okay.
The first way is to test the sugar level of the plant, not the fruit, the plant. So
Okay.
what I would like to do is go back to the previous slide. No, the previous one. Yes, this one. So when you test the leaf of the plant, you pull the leaf off and you squeeze the leaf in a garlic squeezer, okay? And you get a little bit of juice and you put it on a refractometer, you will get the Brix reading, the sugar reading of the plant.
Okay.
Now, When that happens, you write down the number. That's the sugar reading. The next month and every month you do the same thing, and you should do it with the same plant, because you should see that the sugar of the plant is going up, up, up.
Okay.
So that's one way. The other way is if you do a microbial test. In other words, you do a soil analysis and you get a microbial analysis before you start using our technology. And then you do another test, soil test and microbial test, after you use our technology, after the harvest. You should see that the energy in the soil went up, up, up.
Okay.
Now, if the sugar level went up and the energy in the soil went up, and now you got a better yield, more increase in production, and you made better profit, now you know that our technology did this, and now you know that this is the future, because nobody else in the world can do this. Nobody.
Keep Frank.
Yes.
Someone just open the mic so Francesco can hear you. So can you repeat it, please?
Yeah, I said when you see that the soil improvement went up, 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 and the plant's bricks level went up, 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 and you received more production and you made more profit, then you will realize that this technology is the future and nobody else in the world can do this. Nobody.
Okay.
So, if you look at this picture, this is basically what's happening. We are energizing the plant with these frequencies, completely natural, and getting the plant to do what it naturally does every single day. We are not giving it chemicals. We are not forcing the plant. We are training the plant to get stronger, 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 stronger every single minute of every single day. And you don't have to irrigate every day for this to happen. You can irrigate every 3 days, every 4 days. You know, the more you irrigate, the better. But you also need to pay attention not to give the plant more water than it needs. If it doesn't need water, don't give it to it. Historically, we have saved 30% water around the world.
Okay. Thank you, Frank. So we have a question about weeds. So if technology improves the plant, what happens to weeds or the crop cleaning?
Ah, excellent question. Okay. So, what we have experienced is that when you use our technology, and you improve the soil, you start to see less and less and less weeds. Is that strange? That's very strange, right?
Okay.
Let me explain why. I was speaking with a weed specialist, and he was explaining that weeds are a signaling system. When you see a lot of weeds, that is Mother Nature telling you there's a problem with your soil.
Okay.
And the chemical companies, they sell you a chemical to kill the weeds, which creates more of a problem for your soil and more of a problem for your health and more of a problem for your finances and more of a problem for your plants. But that's what they sell you. We don't sell you anything. We tell you the more you use our technology, the less weeds you're going to see. Because when the soil becomes very healthy, naturally the weeds go away, just like the bugs go away. Because when the sugar level of the plant reaches a Brix level of 15 or more, there are no more bugs. There's no more diseases. They go away. And this is what we are seeing. We're seeing less weeds, less disease, and less pests. Okay,
Okay.
let's move on
We
to the
have
next. Let's move on to the
we
next
have
slide.
okay, sure. We have another question, Frank.
Sure, please.
So is this technology incompatible with conventional agriculture? It works better with regenerative agriculture or organic?
That's a very good question. Okay. Our technology was designed so that everyone in the world could go to natural agriculture. But we call it bioenergetic agriculture. Remember this word, bioenergetic agriculture. I'm going to explain this slowly.
Okay.
Conventional agriculture is chemical-based agriculture, and eventually anyone using conventional agriculture will slowly but surely go out of business.
Okay.
Sustainable agriculture is where you change your methods in order to sustain. In other words, make the land and the production viable so that the next generation can continue to survive.
Okay.
Regenerative agriculture is better. Now, sustainable is better than conventional. Regenerative agriculture is better than sustainable because regenerative agriculture is designed so that the soil can regenerate and become more productive, okay, season after season, and give you a better yield without destroying the soil.
Okay.
This way we can leave the next generation with something better than what we did. Okay, that's regenerative agriculture.
Okay.
Organic farming or organic agriculture, this is actually the best out of all of them because everything is completely natural. So it's automatically regenerative, right? But it's now certified to make sure that the quality of the products that are grown are the best because they are organic and they're not using anything that can harm us.
Okay.
The problem with organic agriculture is that most of them are surrounded by chemical conventional agriculture. So you never really have true organic agriculture. So there's a little bit of an exception when it comes to organic, but it is definitely better than everything else.
Okay.
Good. Now we talk about bioenergetic agriculture. Bioenergetic agriculture is what we are delivering to the world. And again, nobody else in the world can deliver what we deliver. Nobody.
Okay.
Bioenergetic agriculture is where we use the sun's energy, absorb as much of the sun as possible, maximize the sugar production of the plant, get the plant to grow very strong, very healthy, and expand the microbial energy in the soil so that we can get more of the sun's energy pulled down into the soil and turn the soil into an energy field, almost like a battery. You got to look at the plant as like when you had the battery, the rechargeable batteries, they had the machine that would recharge your battery. Well, our technology is turning the plant into a recharger, and it's recharging the soil, and it's making the soil super strong and healthy. And nobody else can do this. Nobody. Not regenerative agriculture, not sustainable, not organic, and definitely not conventional.
Okay.
And so if you look at the slide right now, you see you have, conventional, and conventional farming looks like this. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. Well, why does it go up? Well, because you got to put more fertilizer and more minerals and more chemicals. And why does it go down? Because eventually you're destroying the soil and the plant is going to use whatever it can use, but then it's going to go down. And then the rain is going to come and the irrigation, it's going to wash away all this garbage that you just put in there. So even when you put this chemical stuff down, the plant's only using maybe 5-10% of it, maybe 15, maybe if you're lucky 20. Most of it is going to waste. And that waste is destroying your soil, and it's destroying your water, and it's destroying your health and everybody else's health. So this is chemical conventional on the bottom. That's the diagram. The diagram on the top is our technology. And what we do is little by little, make it stronger, Make it stronger. 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 And honestly, we don't know how strong we're going to get. I can tell you, I have farmers that are using our technology for 4 years, and they are getting the best production they've ever seen in their life. You know? It's amazing. So the more you use our technology and the more you follow our formula, you're just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And that results in more money for you. And you should be proud of yourself when you're delivering such a beautiful product to the public. Does anybody have any more questions? I love the questions.
Yeah.
Good.
So with this system, we don't need extra nutrients, pesticides. It's just the irrigation, the only requirement.
With this system, you know what? Let's go back a couple of slides to the Olympic, to the slide with the Olympic. This guy. Okay. So when you look at this, let me tell you a little bit different here, right? The difference between the Kiminasi, right, and the corn without the Kiminasi, you can see the difference, right? You can visually see the difference. Number one, the production was much better. And number two, the production was much healthier, right? And so the difference is the training. Our disc is training the plant to produce a better product, right? Just like you look at the comparative picture with the soccer player. You have a good coach, and the coach coaches the player to become a much better player, right? And sometimes you have a player that doesn't have a good coach and doesn't have a good system, you know, and the difference also could be that the player is eating healthier. He's eating better quality food. He doesn't drink alcohol. He doesn't take drugs, right? But then you have other players that, you know, they party, they drink, they smoke, they do, I don't know, maybe they take drugs. You know, I don't know. All I can tell you is there's a difference between the two players. And I can guarantee you that one of them treats his body very well and takes care of his body very well, and the other one not as well. Okay? So you need to understand there is definitely a difference between these plants, and the plants that you feed chemical fertilizer, you are destroying. And the plants that you feed natural fertilizer, you are making them healthy. Now, here's an example that I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you a question. How many people, how many of you farmers actually exercise? Anyone that raises their hand that exercises, please, I want to talk to you.
Okay, we are waiting for someone.
Is there anybody that's a farmer that exercises?
We have some thumbs up.
Okay, good. Anyone that exercises. On the days that you exercise to make your muscles stronger, do you eat more food or less food?
We can open the people is hand up, Francisco. We have some thumbs up. They said more protein, less carbs.
Yeah. So they eat better food and they eat more of it, right? Well, it's the same thing with the plants. It's no different. Now, if you give the plant good food, it will use 100% of it. It won't go to waste. So when you feed the plant good, natural food, it will not go to waste. And the microbes will use it also. But if you feed the plant chemical food, you're just shooting yourself with a gun. You don't even realize it. You are literally destroying your business.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, we have more questions.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Robert says, if I find this technology very interesting. I understand what you just explained, but cation exchange occurs in all plants. So am I to understand that the disc send an electromagnetic signal depending on the plant's condition?
No, the technology sends the same signals to every single plant. But if one plant is in bad condition and another plant is in good condition, the reaction time may take longer for the unhealthy plant to catch up to the healthy plant, but it will eventually catch up.
Okay. Another question. Do we help the farmers after the installation with the complements and nutrients that they can use?
Repeat the question, please.
So if we help them to manage after the installation about the some nutrients that they can use.
Yeah, what we normally do, and all the farmers that we work with love this. They love this. They love our formula. Let me explain the way we work our formula. We give you a questionnaire, right? And you give us all this information. And you answer, you provide us with all the money that you spend to make your farm the best farm possible. And you tell us the formula that you use. And then we have our agricultural engineers, our biologists, and our doctors of agriculture. We have our science team evaluate this information for your specific crop based on your specific location in the world. And we give you the exact formula that you should use for your crop in your area. And normally, our formula will cost less money than your formula. So right away, we are looking to save you money on how you spend for your farm. But now you will have the best formula and technology for your farm.
Okay. So we have another question. If we have some experience in Venezuela.
Fantastic.
So yeah, if we have installations in Venezuela.
We do have installations in Venezuela. Because of the problems in Venezuela over the last 2 years, we had to sneak the technology into the country in a very strange way. We had to ship the technology to Colombia, and then the people from Colombia had to bring the technology to Venezuela. But it's when we have to deal with such a complicated situation, we tend, to move slowly. Anyway, I think I'd like to show everyone our video so you can learn more about the technology, and it's a summary of what I just explained. I think this would be a good time, and then I can answer more questions right after. Okay. Before we start the play, okay, please pay attention very carefully to what you're about to watch, because this is the future of agriculture. And I want you to write down all your questions, because I want to answer all the questions after you watch this video. Okay? This is how the technology works. Enjoy.
Frank, are you hearing the video?
I'm not.
Okay. Um. Okay. Let me just reshare the screen. Okay.
Sure. You may have to reshare it with sound.
Por una máquina. En cambio, si la lee la onda electromagnética
Hola,
creada por el agua que fluye y pasa por el
María
tubo de
Belén.
metal que contiene el disco, llevando esa información, que llamamos señales, a las plantas y al suelo que se riega. Puede que suene extraño, pero científicos de todo
Dígame,
el mundo
Marcos.
han descubierto que el agua puede almacenar información de ondas
Me imagino que
electromagnéticas
ya
y
hasta
transmitirla.
por el día de hoy creo que vamos
¿Qué
a
es la
parar ahí.
información
Sería
que se
bueno que
transmite?
unamos,
El disco
sobre
quiminásico
todo
tiene
Frank,
más de
¿no? Los
3.000
demás miembros de la
señales
sala, para
directamente
ponernos en una sola
relacionadas con
sala
la
para hacer las
fisiología de las
preguntas.
plantas, el suelo y el agua.
Okay.
Cuando las plantas
Okay.
absorben el
Sure.
agua,
So,
los datos
Por favor,
comienzan
Rodolfo,
inmediatamente a ayudar a la
déjeme
planta. Como
solamente
si
que se
fuera un
reproduzca
entrenador
esto, que
personal,
dura como
alcanzar
3
el máximo
minutos y
potencial
nos vemos
genético.
por allá.
Okay.
Este es el comienzo del proceso de genética gestionada orgánica.
Okay, are you watching
Crop
the
booster,
video?
powered by Kiminasi technology, can best be explained
But it's
by
in English.
comparing it to a now obsolete
Yeah.
technology.
In
Compact
Spanish,
disc.
they are
A
watching
CG
in
is
Spanish.
plastic, and you can record any kind of data onto it. Writing data to the disk requires
I'm
equipment
just
and
sharing in
electricity,
the English
but a machine can read the data at any time,
room.
so it can be used to play music or movies, or install software to transfer files. The Kiminasi disk, KD, works almost the same way. Information is stored on a mini metal disk, but it's not read by a machine. Instead, it is read by the electromagnetic wave created by flowing water that passes through the metal pipe containing the Kiminasi disk, bringing that information, which we call signals, to the plants and soil being irrigated. Now, that may sound strange, but scientists around the world have found that water can actually store information from electromagnetic waves and pass it on. So what is this information that's being passed on? The Kimanasi disk contains more than 3,000 signals directly related to plant physiology, soil, and water. When the water is absorbed by the plants, the data immediately begins to assist the plant, like a personal trainer, to achieve maximum genetic potential. This is the beginning of the process of organically managed genetics, which we call OMG, the complete opposite of GMO, since it enhances the plant's natural genetic capabilities. Fulvio Balmelli, the inventor of the Kimanasi plants technology and the Kimanasi disc, was the winner of the ISDRA International Science, Technology and Research Awards 2024 Best Researcher Award in the field of non-chemical agricultural biotechnology and a Nobel Peace Prize nominee. The Kimanasi technology used in the crop booster Kimanasi disc has been recognized as an entirely new body of knowledge, and the results have been astounding. So what does use of the crop booster Kimanasi disc look like in practice? Firstly, a farmer will get a module that can attach to any type of irrigation system in the world. The Kimanasi disc is inserted into the module, the irrigation turned on, and the water flowing past the disc gets programmed. This programmed water reaches the field sand, gets absorbed by the plants. The first change is that the plant can absorb more sunlight. This increases photosynthesis, which is how plants use energy from the sun to create their own food. It's the key to everything, and here's how. Photosynthesis requires water. So one positive change is that, with the increased photosynthesis, the plant's water management abilities also improve, making it better able to balance its water intake and transpiration to maintain optimal growth and function. This also often reduces the amount of water needed by the plant, an important factor considering the impending water scarcity worldwide. Also, through the enhanced photosynthesis, the plant will produce more sugars and store that excess energy by expanding its root system. This excess sugar will be fed to the soil microbes, which play key roles in providing other nutrients to the soil. For instance, some will pull nitrogen from the atmosphere and convert it into plant-usable ammonium, nitrite, or nitrate, in a process known as nitrogen fixation, since it fixes the nitrogen into the soil. And as the plant grows stronger, it is more resistant to disease because it has more sugar to grow and defend itself. When a plant's BRIX level is 5 or below, it is susceptible to attack by many pests and diseases. In the 5 to 8 range, another category of pests and diseases may appear. But in the 8 to 12 range, they become far less susceptible to pests and diseases. And once the BRIX level reaches 12 or higher, all pest and disease problems disappear. Since crop booster plants tend to have increased levels of sugar, it makes sense why they consistently show less pest and disease pressure in our scientific studies. But another advantage of this increased photosynthesis is that it pulls more carbon dioxide out of the air and deposits it in the soil. This is called carbon sequestration. Then, through a chemical process, oxygen, literally the breath of life, is created and released into the atmosphere. Nitrogen fixation and carbon sequestering are two of the most important.
Okay, so
Well, keep on. It needs to keep going.
oh, it just finished on that part, but we can see all the video on our YouTube channel. So
Sure.
Frank,
Frank,
Marcos
they're
asked
inviting us
to
to
be
the
on the
Spanish, the
yeah
Spanish
on
one,
the Spanish.
so that we can do the raffle together. And I'm going to be translating, and if there's live questions, then we can all be in the same room.
Should we answer the?
Yeah.
If you can give them the link in Spanish, please.
Okay, I'm going to share with you or with all of you the link for the Spanish speaker, so we can go there for the raffle. Give me a second so I can get the link, and I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, so where is the... Okay, so please go to the Spanish,
Sure.
and we can do the raffle there. Thank you very much.